What's up, everyone? Back here with another comic book review. I've got X-Men Legends issue 3. Right off the bat, this is going to be a spoiler review. I do recommend this. It's a lot of fun. It's going to be a quick review because there's not much to say. This was just a fun, quick little comic. So X-Men Legends issue 1 and 2 was by Fabian Nicieza and Brett Booth, filling in an old 90s X-Men plot hole with the Summers brothers. This one, issue 3, is the beginning of a two-part story arc going back to the X Factor days. The original X Factor, which is really just the 5 original X-Men, they reformed in the 80s to create X Factor, and they had these costumes. So now we're going back to that time. It was done by Louise Simonson and Walt Simonson, a married couple, two comic legends. They're Marvel comic legends, and I think it's so cool that they're still around, and Marvel can just call them up real quick and be like, hey, you wanna fill in like a quick little hole in the X Factor days that you did from way back then? And they'll be like, yeah, sure, quick 2 comics, yeah, sounds good. So that's really cool to me. I even love this cover. Walt Simonson I especially love. He's a great, fantastic artist, oh my gosh. And first thing that I noticed that was weird was Apocalypse's teeth, or more like one big tooth. It's just big and white. He didn't separate the teeth, but he probably spent all his time making and drawing all this detailed background, not digitally inserting it in, because he's Walt Simonson. Plus, he's Walt Simonson. He just turned it in. It was like, this is the cover. That's that. You can take it. And that's that. He's Walt Simonson, Even though he's not as good as he used to be, he's a lot older now. It still looks good. So a whole lot of fun. The thing about me in this review is that I didn't read a single one of these old X Factor comics. And I know, you X-Men fanatics are going to ravage me in the comments. But yeah, I got a lot to read, man. And when that X Factor story was done and the Simonsons wrapped it up, then the book continued with a new team written by Peter David with Havoc and Polaris and Quicksilver and stuff. I've got a few of those. Those were quite good. But I never read the Simonsons X Factor with the original team. So with this review, you get a totally vanilla opinion. I'm just going in here and just being like, okay, let's see what this was like. And getting into it, it's got Archangel. He's fighting this random bad guy, and he punches his head clean off, but he's still alive. So I'm sure that's from an old X Factor comic that I didn't read. Apocalypse grabs his head, and Apocalypse is with his little toady Caliban, and they're pretty much just being very menacing. And it says right here in this editor's note that this story takes place between X Factor issue 43 and way back in the 80s. And I'm like, all right, cool, yeah, so now I know where to pick up if I want to jump onto this old story. So that's really cool to me. Then the story gets going, and really this is just kind of a fun comic. It's got the team. You got Cyclops and Jean Grey. They have a kid. Right off the bat, I love the colors. I love Walt Simonson's art. Ever since I first got into Walt Simonson when I was a kid and I started reading his Thor comics, I noticed I love the way he draws hair. I love how he draws hair. That's something every artist will tell you is kind of hard. They all draw it differently, but I love how Walt Simonson does it. Makes the men look handsome, makes the women look beautiful. In fact, he gave Jean Grey quite the booty here in that panel. Wow. And it just looks really good. She's kind of reflecting on what they've been going through lately. Madeline Pryor and the Phoenix are both in her head, battling for control, and they just kind of have to adjust to things right now. They're on this sentient ship that they kind of took from Apocalypse. And right here, you got this part where Cyclops says, maybe we should take advantage of our alone time. And then the sentient ship starts talking to them and ruins the moment. And right here, all you had to do was add this line right here, and you get that she's annoyed. And, Cyclops, I thought the next page was going to be him blasting the ship's little voice box, but that's just him looking very intensely, him focusing. And you can do that with Cyclops. That's the cool imagination of comic creators, taking advantage of Cyclops' unique powers, and just draw a laser beam. It doesn't have to be doing anything, it's just so we know what he's looking at. Really cool imagination here. And pretty much the ship, it doesn't want to turn on the team, but it's kind of doing it against its will. It's losing control of itself, and I think safety protocols are engaging. And what I really like about this comic is the teamwork. This is the original 5 X-Men. They know each other very well. They're a total team. And you know, they got Beast holding on to Iceman's shoulders and riding the ice tracks. You got Cyclops blasting the debris so it doesn't hit them. And it just kind of keeps on chugging through. And it keeps jumping back to Apocalypse and Hodge and what he's going to do with them. He pretty much pulls a Krang from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Hodge hates angels, so he hates mutants actually, but Apocalypse gives him a super souped up robot body to fight him with, but more on that for the next issue, more than likely. And pretty much it's just the team going through the ship and shutting down the ship, like going crazy and giving the ship back control of itself. And I just love that it goes along like them blasting doors open for each other, and Jean Grey opening a door after Cyclops thinned it out, and Archangel using his wings to shield them. Really good teamwork stuff. And so it was just fun. They eventually win. They won the day, and then it's got a good, I like this part where Beast is just, playing around with Scott and Jean's kid. He's flipping around, landing on his feet, but it's freaking out Jean because she's the mom. So that kind of stuff is very charming to me. And ends the comic on that classic cliffhanger note of setting up the next issue of Hodge and his robot body. So they'll be fighting him in the next issue, saying that's a big problem, extremely, and I bet he's not selling encyclopedias. Whatever happened to our downtime? Beast goes, it's over, I suspect. This time the emphasis will be on down. That's so cheesy, but I love it. That's that old school way of writing. Louise Simonson knows how to write a good, fun comic. It's so old school. I love it. It's covered for the next issue. So yeah, there you go. It's really good stuff. I love the teamwork in this. The current X-Men book right now is by Jonathan Hickman. It's very hard to get into. I think it's just kind of glorified garbage. And there's a ton of other X-Men books that are a part of that universe, and it makes it very hard to get into. So if you just ache to get some X-Men like me, and you don't want to spend like $100 a month on all these dumb X-Men books, this is the one for you. It's part of Marvel's subtle return back into quality. Just good stuff, good old school stuff. I'm not saying the old school method is the best way. I'm saying good quality is the best way. This is just fun. It got me into this team of X Factor. Now I'm interested. Now I want to go back and pick up some old X Factor by the Simonsons. So it's really cool. A lot of fun. It's a recommend if you're aching to read some new X-Men. Kind of little bonus stuff right here is that because I'm such a big Walt Simonson fan, I just went and dug out just a random old Thor comic I have of Thor issue 342. This comic's from 1983, so this is what Walt Simonson was writing and drawing at the time. And I just wanted to show real quick of just a random comic of why he was such a superstar for Marvel back in the day. He's just the detail work on all of this. It's so good. All his line art is so clean. It's really good stuff, and very, very kinetic. Him squinting, the facial expressions right here. It's such good stuff to me. And once again, Walt Simonson's a master at drawing hair. Where is it? Drawing the detail on this monster Thor has to fight. The hair on Lorelei right here. So even though, even right here, the wrinkles on this old man's face, his line art is so incredibly clean. So Walt Simonson is such a joy to read. His art is such a joy to look at. It's very pleasing to the eye. So I love that kind of stuff. It's really good stuff. Even though he's not as good as he used to be, he's still good. And he's Walt Simonson. Come on, it's impossible not to like this art. It's great stuff. So thank you for checking out this video. This is definitely the kind of stuff that helps us take the fight to manga so that comics can sell good over here in the West. And this is definitely the kind of comics that are able to do it. So I'm very excited to see the next issue. Thank you for checking out this video. Please comment below. Tell me what you think of X Factor. Let me know if you really think if X Factor is something I should commit to and read and really read all of. So thank you. Catch you later. Bye.